This here is the historic CORAH Building in Leicester. For decades, people worked here in the hosiery industry, making lots of different things. We're going to go and have a bit of a nosy around, and then what we're going to do is get the drone up and have a look from overhead as well. So CORAH was established in 1815 by Nathaniel Kora, who was born in Birmingham in 1777. So we're going back a good few years, and it was in 1865 that this building started to be constructed. That's when the first stones went in, and at the time it was the largest building of its type in Leicester. It had a 145-foot chimney close to the river, which we'll go round and show you where that was in a moment. There were several extensions on the building up until the early 1900s, and then the First World War came, and over 300 people from CORAH went to fight in the First World War. Unfortunately, several of those also lost their lives. Many famous visitors visited the CORAH works, including Queen Elizabeth II in the early 1950s. It was a major employer in Leicester, and at its height there were over 6,000 people working for CORAH. Even up to World War II, we were talking over 4,000 people working there, but half of those went off to fight in the war effort or help out in other ways to do with World War II. So ups and downs in terms of the amount of people that have been employed here in the past, but like I say, at its peak it was actually nearly 7,000 people worked at CORAH. Right, let's go round and have a bit of a nosy before we get the drone up and we can really see what this CORAH site is all about. Now, there are still some businesses working out of CORAH, quite a few in fact, but there's a lot of communication at the moment with the council and other companies about what is going to happen with CORAH Works. But you'll see here, it's an absolutely massive plot. There's so many buildings here, it's unbelievable. I think it's safe to say at some point accommodation is going to be used on this site, whether that's conversions of these current historic buildings, or are they all going to just be flattened and have houses built here instead. Now that would be a crying shame, because the building, the company and everything about this site is symbolic with Leicester and what it was all about. Like I say, it employed a lot of people. It helped a lot of people, no doubt, as well. Families would have been like founded on working at CORAH. I didn't quite realise how big the site was, but now I'm stood in here, it is absolutely ginormous. But lots of it does appear to be abandoned, and I dread to think what some of the units must be like. Yeah, it is. How you doing? All right? Yeah, sound. Some of the units must be in dire need of some work. The Leicester Civic Society have been doing a lot of work around what could happen to CORAH and trying to retain as much of the original build as possible, whatever is eventually done with it. But from my little look around in there, it certainly needs something doing, because it is falling into massive disrepair. I can't imagine it's that safe, to be honest, to be working in a lot of the building. But what we'll do is we'll get the drone up now and we'll have a look and see what we can see if we really get stuck into the middle of it. Right, so here we are. We're up and we're above part of the CORAH sites just here. Now, some chimneys were mentioned previously, and I think these are those chimneys just there. That's Abbey Park just in the background, and then you can see sort of the space centre over there, sort of right in the middle of the screen pretty much now. There we go, right in the middle. But let's get back onto CORAH now. So you've got the river that ran past it there. So absolutely ideal location for getting goods out and away across the rest of the country. But the building itself has certainly seen better days. So if we go down and take a bit of a closer look here, we can see that the roof is just absolutely battered just on that bit there. It's just been left to go, left to degrade right the way across here. It's in really poor condition. And then I had a quick look a few minutes ago and noticed that this bit here has literally got trees growing through it. If you can see there, look at that. It's got trees growing straight through the middle of it. So what we'll do is we'll spin around here. There's your main sort of centre of CORAH, just there where all the car parking is. And then some of the buildings that we can take a closer look at now as well from above. Now I did hear that some of these buildings on the roof were actually World War II like lookout towers for the Luftwaffe when air raids were happening. But I don't know which ones they were because they all look quite similar. I can't really get too close with the drone because I don't really have a great understanding of exactly where I am and what I'm looking at. But as you can see there, the plot itself is massive. If I go a bit higher and get to sort of my maximum altitude, you'll get a real sense of how big the area is that is being developed or potentially being developed. It's just what's it going to be used for? That's the question. Is it going to be used for housing? Is it going to be regenerated and redeveloped as it is now? So yeah, look, it's monstrous. Absolutely huge. And then if I pan this way and look up, you'll see how far away the river is and how much land there is here. Such a historic building for Leicester and a historic site really. So that's where I walked through earlier on. And I walked down here. So I came through there under that little sort of bridge just there, and then went through there. I went to have a look that way under that piece there. That's where the old cars were. But yeah, just a crying shame really. Hopefully over the next few years we'll see something absolutely extraordinary here that can be used and Leicester can be proud of, but for now it needs some work. Thanks for watching this video on Kora. Hope it was interesting to see what the building really looks like. Good luck to the Leicester Civic Society and hopefully getting this building regenerated and redeveloped to keep alive the heart of Leicester's hosiery industry. I'll catch you later.